Hobby Lobby used to carry a pink color that I haven't seen in forever. It's been at least 3 years, maybe 2.5. Now they have magenta, and I'm not the biggest fan of the magenta. The pink stuff was a little more saturated, a little more red in hue. Uh, the magenta is a lot more pale. I'm not really a big fan of it. If it were up to me, I would be using the pink, and I would be using a proper purple. I just so happen to be out of purple. So what I'm using instead is a mixture of phthalo blue and rouge for the lighter stuff, and a combo of black, rouge, and phthalo blue for the darker purples. And it's that whole phrase of necessity is the mother of invention. That's kind of what we ended up doing with this whole series. Didn't plan on using these colors, but they work. I feel like instead of using purple and using the combos of blues, rouge, and black, there's just a lot more subtle, more dynamic range in these pieces than what would normally be available if I used just a tube of purple or proper pink. With this piece, I kind of wanted to do a Zach Dunn type of a thing. You know how he always does those super close-up paintings of these melty, weird, skeletal figures. But for me, I just can't seem to figure out the right rhythm, the right way to go about doing one of those close-up images. For me, I always end up needing just a little bit more background in my stuff, and we end up doing that. Speaking of which, we're using a 20 by 16 canvas. I buy these in bulk most times for pretty cheap. And on top of that, I have at least a 7-foot stack of canvas in my bedroom, and I'll generally go through there maybe once every 2-3 weeks and pick out stuff that just isn't up to snuff, and then find stuff we could paint over. But this is a brand new canvas, so I don't normally do that. I try not to do that. I feel like if you paint over old pieces, you get lucky more often. I think the layering underneath, the time spent making that under stuff is like it has an effect. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the superstition. This smear pattern I'm doing, going from right to left, is something I've been doing in this series. What generally ends up happening is it looks like these figures are wearing veils, and that to me is a handicap. That's kind of a trick that I've been using, so I don't have to focus on too much detail. Speaking of detail, right now, I have no idea what's going to happen here. We might end up building it up more, making it more darker, making the whole figure bigger or smaller. What I'm doing with this purple, what I'm doing with this magenta is we're just trying to get some noise in the general area where the composition is supposed to be. Right now, I have no idea what's going to happen. Now, with hindsight, if you look and you've seen the painting before you've seen the video, so you can already see where the face is going to go. I don't know that that's there yet, but we'll find it in the not too distant future. What else? I end up using a little bit of fluorescent pink. I have maybe 2 tubes of the stuff left, and when you add them to these pink pieces, it brings a whole other dimension that I feel like I should have used in the previous pink pieces, but that's fine. So now I found the eyes. We're gonna bring that out. I think I'm mostly using the phthalo and the rouge here. Um, the black mixture, black rouge phthalo, it's going to be used to just fill out space, negative space. Someone asked me if this was supposed to be Mario de Plantour of Gojiria. And I definitely see the resemblance. What it's never conscious. I've never, usually don't plan on making anything. I'm a big fan of Mario's artwork, though. He has a very cool, primitive style. And The Way of All Flesh is just a great album. Big fan of that album. Cool band. Cool band, man. Wouldn't mind trying to do some more of that primitive animal nature style stuff that he seems to do visually. But I'm not going to try to force anything. Whatever happens, happens. So right now, where the hand's going to go, it's there. It's right in front of me. I'm just not seeing it yet. It's a lot more light blue. It's just hinted there, and we're gonna have to bring that out. So instead of doing the hair, instead of doing the veil waving in the wind, I'm using the hair this time around. It's a great little trick, man. The only real focal point in this piece is the head and the hand and the teeth. And what I did different this time was we didn't do the open mouth with the jagged teeth. That's my go-to. That's 100% Francis Bacon. Easily one of the more influential artists for me. Just mostly the series of popes he did, but I really like. I hate his art studio. Francis Bacon's art studio grosses me the fuck out. I don't know how you could have your room be that goddamn messy. It's kind of disgusting, really. But he was a great artist. What I liked about Francis Bacon stuff, though, is it doesn't look like oil paint. To me, what Francis Bacon stuff looks like is acrylic. And when I made the commitment to doing mostly acrylic, I studied a lot of his work. I was doing oil for a few months last winter, and I like what oil offers as far as detail goes, but for me, with what Francis Bacon was doing, it kind of showed that you could commit to that more simple style and still get a lot of return out of it. So shout out to Francis Bacon. I think he died around the time when I was born too, which was pretty dope. Pretty goddamn dope. Yeah, there's not much like detail in this thing, really. It just comes down to the face, the collarbone, and the hand. Like, you don't have to get too technical. I think they call that elegance. Like, your stuff doesn't have to be technical at all. For me, it's all about color and expression. And I'm trying to bring my style out a little bit more, but I'm in no rush. And here's the neon pink. I think it's Master's Touch. It's specifically a neon paint set. I've bought tons of those in the past. They come in 6-packs, but I'm mostly buying it for the neon pink. And if I remember right, that stuff is UV reactive. So if I wasn't lazy, I could dig out my UV lamp and we can make this thing glow. But I'm a big fan of adding this neon pink to these pieces. I just started doing it last night, or 2 nights ago, whatever. The piece called Purify was the first one with this, and as long as I have some of the neon pink, it's going to go in the pieces. And there we go. That's my Mario Deplantour piece, I guess. I even named it after the Gojira album because I'm not really good with titles. So it's called The Link. And there it is. Yeah. Peace.